Sometimes, the moments that take our breath away are not the ones we expect. They're the ones that arrive quietly, catching us off guard, and leaving us wondering why. For millions of viewers across the nation, that was exactly how it felt when Jenna Bush Hager, beloved broadcaster, best-selling author, mother, and daughter of a former U.S. president, announced she was leaving the Today Show. It wasn't just a career update, it was a shockwave. How could the warm, genuine, and spirited woman who had brightened our mornings for years suddenly walk away? What could have pushed her to make such a heart-wrenching decision? Tonight, we take you on a journey. A story that dives deeper than headlines. A story of grief, of love, of rediscovery, and of what truly matters when the cameras stop rolling. It all began on an ordinary morning at the Today Show. The set looked the same, the cheerful colors, the familiar coffee mugs, and the radiant smile of Jenna Bush Hager. But this time, there was something different. Her laughter was softer. Her voice trembled ever so slightly. Her co-hosts, usually quick to banter, fell silent. They knew. Jenna looked out across the studio and said the words that would break millions of hearts. She was leaving. There was no grand build-up, no lengthy explanation, just a heartfelt, simple announcement that felt like saying goodbye to an old friend. Because Jenna wasn't just another television personality, she felt like family. She let viewers into her life, sharing her joys, her vulnerabilities, and her laughter. Every morning, she reminded us of the humanity that connects us all. But beneath that smile, something had been stirring for a long time. To understand Jenna's decision, we need to go back to her roots. Jenna Bush Hager was born into one of America's most prominent families. The daughter of President George W. Bush and First Lady Laura Bush, and the granddaughter of George H. and Barbara Bush, Jenna's life was never truly her own. From the time she was a little girl, every move was watched, every smile, every stumble, every word analyzed by the public and the press. That level of scrutiny might seem glamorous from the outside, but for Jenna, it was both an honor and a burden. She once said that being part of such a well-known family means learning early on how to be gracious under pressure, but also learning how lonely that spotlight can feel. As Jenna grew older, she forged her own path. She became a teacher, then a journalist, and later a co-host who exuded authenticity. Yet, even with success, the weight of expectation never truly went away. Over the years, Jenna faced moments of heartbreak that changed her forever. The passing of her beloved grandmother, Barbara Bush, left a wound that ran deep. Barbara wasn't just a public figure to Jenna. She was a guiding light. Her advice, her laughter, and her steady presence had been a compass throughout Jenna's life. When Barbara died, Jenna began to see life differently. She started to question everything: her time, her priorities, and her purpose. Was she spending her days the way she truly wanted to? Was she present enough for her children, Mila, Poppy, and Hal? Was she taking care of herself, or just constantly giving to everyone else? Those questions haunted her. Friends close to Jenna say that in recent months, the internal struggle grew stronger. There were whispers that she had been through a private health scare, something she chose not to share publicly, but which deeply shook her. It forced her to stop and ask herself the hardest question of all. What if I keep going at this pace and lose myself completely? That's when she knew something had to change. One evening at the family dinner table, Jenna made a decision that would alter everything. She looked at her husband Henry and their 3 children and said, quietly but firmly, that she was leaving the Today Show. At first, the children didn't understand. "Mommy, you love your job," they said. And Jenna smiled softly, tears in her eyes. "I do, but I love you more." She explained that leaving meant more breakfast mornings together, more bedtime stories, more laughter at home. And in that moment, what began as confusion turned into joy. Her children's eyes sparkled as they realized Mom wasn't leaving them for work anymore. She was coming home. For the first time in years, Jenna felt a sense of peace wash over her. She wasn't losing something. She was gaining back her life. When the news finally broke, it hit the public like a wave. Fans were heartbroken, colleagues were emotional, and tributes poured in from across the country. Her co-host and close friend, Hoda Kotb, couldn't hold back tears as she thanked Jenna for years of laughter, honesty, and friendship. It wasn't just a professional farewell, it was personal. Because for those who worked with her, Jenna wasn't just a co-host. She was a sister, a listener, a burst of sunlight in the chaos of live television. But this wasn't the end of Jenna's story. Far from it. Stepping away from today wasn't about retreating. It was about returning. Returning to what made her happiest. Her family, her writing, and her purpose. You see, Jenna has always been more than a TV personality. She's a storyteller at heart. Her passion for early childhood education, her advocacy for literacy, and her belief in the power of words have guided her entire career. Now, free from the daily grind of early morning television, she has the chance to explore those passions more deeply. Maybe she'll write another book. Maybe she'll work to expand access to children's education. Or maybe she'll simply enjoy the quiet joy of being present, something many of us forget to do. What's clear is that Jenna's decision struck a chord with working parents everywhere. In a world that glorifies busyness, she made the radical choice to pause, to breathe, to be human. The truth is, so many of us live like Jenna once did, rushing from one task to the next, juggling careers, families, and expectations, all while neglecting our own hearts. Her story is a powerful reminder that success isn't just about achievements, it's about alignment. Aligning your time with your values, your actions with your soul, and that's exactly what Jenna did. She showed courage not by staying, but by walking away. She reminded us that it takes strength to say, I need rest, and that sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is choose yourself. As fans, we'll miss her infectious laugh, her warm candor, and the way she could turn an ordinary moment into something beautiful. But perhaps this goodbye isn't really an ending. Maybe it's just the next chapter in a life filled with grace, wisdom, and love. And as Jenna Bush Hager embarks on this new journey, one thing is certain. She's not walking away from the spotlight. She's walking towards something far brighter. Home, peace, and purpose. Her story isn't about quitting. It's about reclaiming joy. And maybe, just maybe, that's a lesson we all need to hear. So as we say farewell to Jenna's chapter on today, we celebrate her courage. The courage to slow down, to listen to her heart, and to choose what truly matters most. Because when the lights fade and the cameras stop rolling, what remains is not fame or ratings. It's love, family, and the quiet satisfaction of knowing you finally came home to yourself. And for Jenna Bush Hager, that's exactly where she's meant to be.